Now, from the station on your side, you're watching Wavy News 10.
FBI agents descend on Portsmouth properties tied to State Senator Louise Lucas as part of a corruption probe that reportedly began years ago. And tonight, we're hearing from Louise Lucas. Good evening, I'm Tom Shad. The Democratic leader of the state Senate has been a lightning rod in Virginia state politics for years. And tonight, she is the target of a federal investigation that began during the Biden administration. Now, Lucas released this statement tonight. Today's actions by federal agents are about far more than one state senator. They are about power and who is allowed to use it on behalf of the people. What we saw is a clear pattern from this administration. When challenged, they try to intimidate and silence the voices who stand up to them. Now, that statement is in response to what we saw today. From Drone 10, extensive FBI presence on the grounds of Lucas's political offices, along with her business called Lucas Lodge, which provides Medicaid services. We also saw federal agents next door at the cannabis outlet she co-owns with a family member. Then we found Lucas's daughter, Lisa Lucas Burke, waiting outside while the FBI was inside, going through records and whatever the sealed search warrant allows.
I don't know what the hell is going on. We're trying to figure it out. That's all I know.
Does it have to do with the business here or the cannabis shop?
I don't know. Both of them have our Lucas name on it, so we don't know what's going on.
And Louise Lucas promises to fight on. You can read tonight's full statement now on Wavy.com. And as this process plays out in real time, we await the facts that may have driven today's raid. Tonight's team coverage starts with 10 on your side's Markeisha Jackson, who has reaction from political observers.
Experts say look for more details in the coming days as it relates to the raid that happened here and what it could mean for the longtime state senator Louise Lucas. Political tactics or probable cause?
We don't know if this is related to her official capacity as a state senator, or whether or not, as I understand it, she also has some private business interests.
That's what many are trying to decipher after an FBI raid on the Portsmouth office of the leader of the Virginia Senate and other businesses of hers. But political experts still have questions on just what this FBI raid could mean for one of the most powerful Democrats in Virginia.
When the FBI shows up accompanied by a Fox News reporter, it signals a certain thing in terms of what the political intent is.
So I think you have Democrats being like, we don't know what's going on. We're going to presume she's innocent. And, you know, hope that the Justice Department functions as it should. From Republicans, you know, Senator Lucas is being investigated. They've pointed out her business and kind of the association that she has with kind of marijuana dispensing through that business, and have just kind of ignored the component of fear of prosecutions that might not be legitimate.
The FBI says they were at Lucas's office and her cannabis business to execute a court-authorized federal search warrant. NBC News and the New York Times report the search was connected to an investigation that began during the Biden administration. There are no specifics beyond that.
When you think about the connection here to marijuana in the state of Virginia too, people from both parties have talked about how under-regulated this industry is. So this is a particularly dangerous industry to be in if you're a politician right now.
As for what the fallout could be for State Senator Lucas, that's unclear.
There are broader political ramifications for her, her political party, perhaps even the governor, whose, you know, political fortunes have been closely tied to Senator Lucas in these past couple of months.
I think we probably will get some details soonish, but we may be waiting for a little while.
As more information surrounding the raid becomes available, we of course will pass those details along to you on air and online at Wavy.com. In Portsmouth, Markeisha Jackson, 10 on your side. And
this raid has drawn a response from state and local leaders, including this statement from fellow Democrat and State House Speaker Don Scott. It reads in part, Senator L. Louise Lucas has not been charged with anything. I am deeply concerned by today's FBI raid. He added, I think people should take this with a grain of salt and allow the facts to come out before jumping to conclusions. Democratic Attorney General Jay Jones says, I urge everyone to exercise restraint and judgment until the relevant facts are known in this matter. Now, some are pretty much abstaining from commenting at all until they know more, including Governor Abigail Spanberger and Portsmouth Mayor Shannon Glover. But we have this from Congressman Bobby Scott.
When an investigation takes place, people are entitled to due process and a presumption of innocence, and we'll just see what evidence, we'll wait for the evidence.
A common thread through all of the statements we've seen so far. Full statements and additional reaction from lawmakers are posted now on wavy.com. Soon after we checked the activity at Lucas's Portsmouth office, 10 on Your Side received a tip that federal agents are also investigating a dispensary in Norfolk. But it's unclear tonight if those two events are connected. 10 on Your Side Cheyenne Pagan continues our team coverage.
It was a busy day for federal agents in both Portsmouth and Norfolk as lengthy investigations were underway in both cities.
Surveillance video across the street from the cannabis outlet, which is co-owned by Louise Lucas, captures the moment federal agents pulled up in Portsmouth this morning.
Louise Lucas is the state senator. Why are y'all investigating her? I like Louise Lucas. I have no problems with her.
By 7 p.m., a much different sight as the FBI had cleared out and people close to Lucas began coming and going from the building. But the raids didn't stop in Portsmouth.
Is it close? There's FBI agents combing through everything that's in that dispensary. So they told me obviously it's locked down, it's not public.
A man named Jared sent 10 on Your Side this video of what appears to be agents searching another dispensary off Granby Street in Norfolk. The CBD shop is registered to a man named Carlton Upton Jr. 10 on Your Side previously reported that Upton did business with Lucas. In late April, Upton was indicted on 3 felony counts of wire fraud, but it's unclear if the raids in Portsmouth and Norfolk are related.
I hope whatever's going on gets solved, and that's it.
Residents like Antoinette Franklin, who have met Lucas personally, are still trying to wrap their head around what happened today and why.
Really shocked that the feds, FBI, whoever it may be, are up there in her place and have had no problems with her, but I guess the higher ups are trying to find some kind of way to catch her in something.
This is a developing story. We'll continue to bring you the latest updates on air and online. Cheyenne Pagan, 10 on Your Side.
And we can't forget another big story, and that is coming relief for a spring drought that is leaving Virginia in the dust. Chief Meteorologist Jeff Edmondson says rain should begin in the next few hours, but it's only the beginning of what we really need, right, Jeff?
Yeah, we need to get some heavy rain and steady rain to move into our area, and that might be happening by the morning. We have that rain that's off to our west and down to our south, and it's on its way here. It's pretty much following the schedule nicely. Arrival into our area close to 2 o'clock in the morning. Maybe a couple of sprinkles and light showers first, but most of the rainfall moving into Emporia right now near Rocky Mount and farther to the west as well. This is where the rain mostly is actually coming down to the ground. Anything out ahead of it is just a few sprinkles. So I'm watching this rainfall closely, and it's looking pretty good that it's on its way here. So here's tomorrow morning at 2 o'clock in the morning. So this is 3 hours from now. We have rain that's coming through Tidewater, and it's starting to get a little bit heavier. Now watch this zone here between Farmville and South Hill. There's a zone of convergence. A cold front's coming in out of the north, warmer air is coming in out of the south, and it could generate a pocket of very heavy rainfall right across Hampton Roads close to 5 o'clock in the morning. So about 6 hours from now, there could be some steady, heavy rainfall coming down across southeastern Virginia. This is a little too heavy, though, because the ground is so hard right now, hard pan, a lot of this could run off, and it may not actually soak in. But we have the rain tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. through 9 a.m. The morning commute tomorrow is going to be a bit slow because of that rain coming down, and then we'll still see the rain even at 11 o'clock. Likely seeing rain in the morning. A little preview of what the rain totals could be overnight here, at least until 11 a.m. A good ½ an inch, but there's still more on the way. We're going to talk about how much we could get and the forecast for Mother's Day weekend coming up.
All right, thank you, Jeff. Now, we are hearing from one of the ROTC students targeted in a terror attack at ODU. Lieutenant Colonel Brandon Shaw, a beloved military science professor, died after a gunman opened fire in the classroom on the morning of March 12th. Cadet Jahiri Utarte was sitting in the front row, and he talked to 10 on Your Side about what he witnessed.
If Lieutenant Colonel Shaw did not tackle him, I probably would have been next. Regardless of being shot, he was able to still bring down the enemy and give all of us a chance to live. I think about it every day, that I am here because of him.
Utarte and his colleagues graduate in 1 week. See more from this interview conducted by Kevin Rahm and our previous coverage of the attack on wavy.com. New tonight, investigators say a fire that left 3 people displaced was an accident, but they have not pinpointed an exact cause. However, this happened on Clearfield Avenue in Chesapeake just after 5:30 p.m. The fire damaged the 2nd floor, but crews quickly put it out. The homeowners were not there at the time, and 3 family dogs were located safely outside, but 2 others inside died. Also in Chesapeake, the search for a missing woman. 37-year-old Shannon Rogers was last seen on Old Battlefield Boulevard South at around 9 o'clock yesterday morning. Police say she wears glasses with pink rims and has a flower tattoo on her shoulder and "I Will Rise" tattooed in script lettering on her forearm. She was last seen wearing jeans, a red long-sleeve shirt, a gray zip-up sweater with white shoes. Rogers is known to have schizophrenia and may be without her medication. She is also possibly accompanied by her white poodle service dog named Lincoln. Call police if you know where she is. The U.S. and Iran are inching toward a deal to end the fighting. More on what it may look like next. And here's a live look from Tower Cam 10. Good news for the rain lovers, and there are many of us here. It's coming soon. Chief Meteorologist Jeff Edmondson has a more detailed look at where and when we come back.
Now, from the station on your side, you're watching Wavy News 10.
The U.S. and Iran are apparently close to reaching an agreement to end the war. News Nation Washington correspondent Kristen Escal shows us what we've learned about a potential deal.
We've learned the discussions surround a one-page memorandum. A source tells News Nation that it would an end to the war and create a framework for talks about the future of Iran's nuclear program. This all comes just a few hours after President Trump announced a pause to the U.S. military guiding ships through the Strait of Hormuz.
We've had very good talks over the last 24 hours, and it's very possible that we'll make a deal.
President Trump has signaled that the Iran war could soon end and commercial traffic could resume in the Strait of Hormuz.
Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, and they won't. And they've agreed to that.
He says he believes the U.S. blockade of Iranian ports has been effective toward getting the strait reopened.
It's like a wall of steel. Nobody goes through. In particular, the Iranians, they're not getting anything through one way or the other.
President Trump announced a pause Tuesday night to military escorts for commercial ships through the Strait of Hormuz. He said the pause came at the request of Pakistan and other countries, and he cited, quote, great progress made toward reaching a final agreement with Iran.
We would prefer the path of peace. What the president would prefer is a deal. He would prefer to sit down, work out a memorandum of understanding for future negotiations.
Economic pressure has been mounting as gas prices continue to climb. That's also brought increased criticism from Democrats.
What happens when that summertime increase happens when we're already at a flat rate of $5 a gallon? This is a failure by the administration.
On Truth Social, President Trump said if Iran doesn't agree to a deal, quote, the bombing starts, and warned that it would be, quote, at a much higher level and intensity than it was before. Kristen Escal, News Nation, Washington.
Now, your Super Doppler 10 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Jeff Edmondson.
Well, we have some rain that's moving across areas in Virginia, North Carolina, and it's looking pretty likely that it's on its way here. We just have to give it a little bit longer. It should be moving in here in the next couple of hours, maybe around 1 or 2 o'clock, depending on your location. But we have some light rainfall, though, around Emporia. See how it's starting to really appear on radar. It's only going to be rain, so as you're going to bed tonight, I am not concerned about severe weather, really even thunderstorms. There may be some rumbles of thunder early tomorrow morning around 4 or 5 a.m., but again, not expecting severe weather. That's staying well down to our south of Atlanta, south of Birmingham and Montgomery. That's where the big storms are hanging out. You can see even in southern Georgia, there's some severe weather that's possible into those regions too. But we're fine, just rainfall moving in. So we have this nice zone of rain here. We'll have a cold front that'll move through tomorrow morning around 5 or 7 a.m., sometime around that time frame, and that'll help to generate more rainfall. So here's just the next 6 hours that rain moves in, and then there's that heavy rain. So that's what we have coming up. Here's a look at the Norfolk Airport tonight. Things are still dry out there. 80 degrees was the high temperature today. Sunset today at 7:58 p.m. We need some rain. We're down for the year by 5 inches, and we're only a couple months into the year. So we need that for springtime only, not including the majority of May. We're down almost 5 inches there. So that's where most of our deficit is coming from. But there's some rainfall coming, so this is good. 1 o'clock in the morning, we have some rain that's starting to come down. But it could get a little heavy, though. Around 5 o'clock, this is some heavy rainfall that we have, so it might be a little too heavy where it's running off of our yards down the storm drains, but at least we're getting something, though, into our area. We have rain across the eastern shore, scattered showers into northeast North Carolina. Here's 7 o'clock in the morning, solid rain across our region. Here's 9 o'clock in the morning, solid rain from the Outer Banks to the eastern shore. This is great. Here's 11 o'clock in the morning, a nice soaking rainfall still coming down. But look at this. See how there's an edge right here? There's some dry air moving in from the north. So around Williamsburg, Gloucester, around 11 o'clock tomorrow, about 12 hours from now, it should start to come to an end. We'll see that line of dry air push a bit farther south into Newport News. It's coming to an end around noon to 1 o'clock. Same thing for the eastern shore. Still rainfall northeast North Carolina and the south side. But then that should move out as we go into the late afternoon and evening. So we're seeing the rain move out during the afternoon tomorrow, still some cloud cover. But for those that like to get really nice pictures of sunsets with the clear skies out here and that sun coming in low below the cloud deck, there could be a really pretty sunset tomorrow. Sunset, as you saw, around 8 p.m. So look for that tomorrow. That's a little bonus after the rain, and that sometimes happens too. The end of the day red sunset is a bonus. We have sunny skies and dry weather for Friday, a good day for things to dry out after the rainfall. Saturday, we're looking dry in the morning, but there could be a few pop-up showers that may develop in the afternoon, a low chance for that. Sunday for Mother's Day, same kind of thing too. There might be a few pop-up showers late in the day. Rainfall amounts, a good chance for a ½ an inch, a good chance for maybe an inch or more if this thing really develops here tomorrow morning. So this is looking good for our area. There's more rain on the 7-day forecast. Small chances for Saturday afternoon and Sunday afternoon. Sunday morning for Mother's Day is looking good still, but the afternoon there may be a few stray showers. Monday, a good chance for some rain with a high of 75. So we see a few chances for rain. We need more than this, so we need another 1 to 2 inches, and I'm not quite seeing that on Monday yet. We'll keep an eye on that, though, as it gets closer.
All right, Jeff. Local students are getting a taste of history, and you can too. How they will prepare the Freedom 250 dinner while raising money for their school. The Freedom 250 dinner is coming to the peninsula. A historical 5-course dining experience celebrating America's 250th anniversary. That dinner will take place at the Hampton Roads Convention Center, adding some local flavor. The concept and menu were developed by the students at Phoebus High School.
They were fully involved. The moment I talked to them about the era of time and the research pieces, I broke them into groups. They fully dived in. Every day they took the time to just do more and more research, and then they narrowed it down so that they could find out which menu items they wanted to use to create these dishes.
But wait, there's more. In addition to the meal, there'll be wine pairings, live entertainment, and other events. And proceeds benefit Hampton City Schools and Phoebus High School's Hospitality and Tourism Academy.
Well, a big honor for Old Dominion women's basketball coach Delisha Bilton-Jones. The Tide's in a high-scoring thriller at Harbor Park, and one of the top basketball coaches in Division III is making the move to Division I. That's next on the Sport Trap. Well, sources, including a current player, have confirmed to the Sport Trap that longtime Christopher Newport men's basketball coach John Krikorian leaving the Captains and becoming an assistant coach at Division I Elon. Krikorian led the Captains to incredible heights in his time in Newport News, including 362 wins, 12 NCAA tournaments, 4 Final Fours, and the program's lone national championship 3 years ago. This past season, CNU lost in the national semifinals. Now, there has been so much stability at CNU that Krikorian was just the second head coach in the last 42 years. He replaced the late C.J. Woolham. Now, athletic director Kyle McMullen tasked with finding a replacement for one of the top Division III coaches in Division III. Krikorian is going to join an Elon team that plays in the CAA and has never made the NCAA Division I tournament. Well, last week we found out that ODU women's basketball head coach Delisha Milton-Jones will be honored this summer by the LA Sparks. The team is going to retire her number 8 jersey in July. She was a foundational piece for the Sparks, playing 11 of her 17 WNBA seasons for the franchise over 2 different stints. She won back-to-back WNBA championships in the early 2000s. Milton-Jones ranks 3rd in franchise history in blocks and games played. She also stands 4th in franchise history in points scored. This afternoon, we spoke with her about what this honor means to her.
So many things go through my mind. First thing is, it was such a privilege to be able to play within the WNBA and for the Los Angeles Sparks organization. And then secondly, it's such an honor to be able to have your career set ablaze like that, where you get to be lifted up in the rafters and remembered forever. It signifies something legendary took place, and I think it goes beyond just the court in terms of who I am, how I engage with the community and the fan base, and how I left my heart and soul out there.
She really was a heck of a player, not only in the WNBA, but at the University of Florida as well, where they lost to Old Dominion in the Final Four back in '97. Congrats to Coach Jones, entering her 7th season as Lady Monarchs head coach. To Harbor Park, Tides hosting the Gwinnett Stripers. Breezy night for baseball in Norfolk, and the home team took advantage of that stiff breeze. Bottom of the first, Creed Williams. And that's going to go into the Tides bullpen, and that is a 2-run home run. It's the number 6 on the year for Mr. Williams. Tides up 2-0. Very next batter is Jose Barrero, and look at that swing, and look where this ball ends up. It goes over the picnic area. He actually had 2 home runs tonight. Tides take a 3-0 lead. Cameron Weston got the start for the Tides. He went 2 2/3, gave up 2 runs, but had 4 strikeouts, including this one in the second. He was on a pitch count. He left the game in the 3rd with the bases loaded when Yaqui Rivera came in, and he gets a strikeout to end the inning. Or did he? Batter challenges, and the OBS system says it touches the corner, so it is a strikeout. Bottom of the 3rd, Christian and Encarnacion Strand gonna rip it to left center. Judd Fabian was on first base, and he's going to round first all the way around to come home. But Gwinnett had a big 3-run 9th inning, and it's the Stripers that rally for the 8-6 win. Same 2 teams tomorrow night, weather permitting.
Tides have a day game tomorrow, and it looks like it might not happen.
Yeah, I said tomorrow night. It's actually tomorrow at noon. So
at noon.
How's that looking?
Rain. Rain, yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
see this guy.
Yeah, field will be pretty wet. We need the rainfall, though. 67 for the high tomorrow, but that'll be dropping by the afternoon. It'll be in the 50s to near 60 degrees in the afternoon. More rain on the way, possible Sunday afternoon and Monday next week.
Thanks for joining us, and let your light show the way for others.